This is the new 2022 Chevy Suburban, and it's the largest three-row with a sticker price of around $61,000 and some amazing luxury features that you could have. You could buy a Mercedes GLS 600 or a Telluride or a Lexus GX 460, or you could get this, the most luxurious Chevy ever made. And today I'm going to review it. Before I get started, be sure to check out Cars and Sports, which is my new online enthusiast car auction website for cool cars. If you're looking to sell or buy a cool modern enthusiast car, Cars and Sports is the place to go. We've had some great sales recently on Cars and Sports, including this Ram TRX brought over $90,000, and this fantastic Ford F-150, which was sold for just under $20,000, and this Chevy Silverado, which was sold for just under $50,000 in great conditions. If you're looking to sell or buy a cool modern enthusiast car, Cars and Sports is the place to go. And if you're looking to buy cool modern enthusiast Cars and Sports is the place to go. We have an amazing selection with daily auctions at carsandsports.com. So, let's talk Suburban. Basically, everyone knows the old school Chevy Suburban, which is made through the 1990s. It was Chevy's flagship. It was Chevy's ultimate model, but then Chevy replaced it with the smaller, more efficient, more modern Chevy Tahoe. Well, now the Chevy Suburban is back, and once again, it's the ultimate version. There are actually two versions. There's the and 8.5 level Chevy Suburban, which is sold, and then there's the luxury pinnacle model, which is this one, which starts around $52,000. They're both the same size, which makes this about 226 inches long, which makes this longer than a Mercedes Maybach GLS 600 and way longer than a Kia Telluride or a Lexus GX 460. Indeed, this is massive, and it has the engine to match. The base level version comes standard with a 5.3-liter V8, but in this model, you can only get a 6.2-liter V8 with about 460 horsepower. As you might guess, it's not very efficient. And so today I'm going to show you the features of the ultimate Chevy. First, I'm going to take you on a tour of it. Then I'm going to get it out on the road and see how it drives. And then I'm going to give it a Jaffe score. Alright, I'm going to start the quirks and features of the new Suburban, starting in this really good interior. Now, before I get started, this is the Chevy Suburban, like the luxury version of Chevy Suburban, and this is the and code 19 model, which is the luxury. So you can see it has this copper and brown leather. You have some of that leather here, and even you have this wood that looks like some good thing. This is a beautiful interior. I've never seen something like this. But however, there is one drawback in here, and that is for the turn signals. The material, I don't think it's very good. It's cheap, crappy plastic. I don't like it, and it doesn't seem very reasonable. And it's almost like your rental car, like your rental car Volkswagen Atlas. It doesn't really matter, and I don't know why they have to put them in these. It's just really interesting and why they went with it. Now, like, you can see there are lots of cool things, and next I will move on to the second row in the Suburban, where the seats look very nice, and there's a screen on the back of the passenger and driver's seat, and you can use it for many purposes. For one example is the "Are we there yet?" You can see you turn on the screen, and then it will show you a little photo, and you can see here it doesn't actually show a normal car. It shows a Chevy Suburban, which is pretty interesting. So, and next up, finally, we move on to the cargo area in the Suburban. But you can see here, there's just not very much. There's not very many things. There's not that much room, and I do think they could do better, and that's just kind of interesting from combinations like that. And so that's the features of the Chevy Suburban 2022. And now it's time to get it out on the road and see how it drives. Okay, driving the Chevy Suburban. I like it, and it feels very nice. This is a big SUV, like a Cadillac Escalade ESV. That's a little longer than this, but this is quite a little bit wider and a little taller. And let me think. I drove the new Chevy Tahoe, which was really nice. And since the Chevy Tahoe is so nice and it has 3 rows, I was like, how are they going to distinguish that? How are they going to distinguish that from the Chevy Suburban? And I was like, how are they going to compare that to the Chevy Suburban? I take all that back. The nicest version of the Tahoe starts around $75,000. That's where the Suburban starts. But I do look more forward for that. And you're sitting up very high, and it all right, now I'm gonna floor it now. Yeah, it's not that bad, but it's just, I think they could do a little better, so we'll see in the score that we're gonna give the Chevy Suburban. Starting with the weekend category, the Chevy Suburban's look is pretty nice and gets a 5 out of 10. Comfort is nice but not perfect and gets an 8 out of 10. Handling is good and gets a 4 out of 10. Everything else and cargo space is pretty good and gets a 7 out of 10. And everything else is really good and gets a 6 out of 10. Driving experience is good and gets a 10 out of 10. The score out of 100, 68 out of 100, which is pretty good. Which places it here which places it here from other cars, the Nissan Armada, the Kia Telluride, the Toyota Highlander, and other things, and the Chevy Tahoe. Like, the Suburban is a very good SUV, and we will see you next time.